But tonight we start the show with Team India. It's been almost 2 weeks since that heartbreak at Ahmedabad when India, playing at home, lost the ODI World Cup final to the mighty Aussies. Now, I know it's been a tough pill to swallow for billions of Indian fans, even for the players too. But it's important to not lose sight of what's coming up, given how cramped the international schedule is. There's hardly any breathing space to sit down, think, analyze what went wrong and introspect in detail. So let's look at the men in blue, who really find themselves at crossroads now. You see, there were a lot of questions post that World Cup disappointment. Will Rahul Dravid continue as coach? What about seniors like Rohit, Sharma and Virat Kohli? Will they continue to play white ball cricket? What should the team composition look like going forward? Do you get in more youngsters or stick with the veterans and the ones with experience for some more time? And of course, there's the million-dollar question: who will lead Team India now? Will Rohit continue as skipper, or is it time for someone like a Hardik Pandya to take over? I'll tell you why there's this series of questions lingering on everyone's minds. Remember, we are just 7 months away from another ICC tournament. That's the T20 World Cup. It is slated to be held in June next year and will be played in West Indies and the United States. As for the questions, we have answers to some, and a cloud of uncertainty still looms on the rest. So let's divide this into parts. First, on coach Rahul Dravid, and a piece of good news for all fans. Of course, yesterday it was announced that Dravid will continue as head coach until the 2024 T20 World Cup.
The last 2 years with Team India have been thoroughly memorable. Together, we have witnessed the highs and lows, and throughout this journey, the support and camaraderie within the group have been phenomenal. I am genuinely proud of the culture we have set in the dressing room. It's a culture that stands resilient, whether in the moments of triumph or adversity. The skills and talent that our team possesses are phenomenal, and what we have stressed is following the right process and sticking to our preparations, which has had a direct impact on the overall result.
But let's really look at how his journey has been so far. He took over as head coach from Ravi Shastri in November 2021. Since then, he has really stood like a wall with the team. His coaching style hasn't been far too different from his playing days: calm, composed and calculated. In these 2 years, he saw several ups and downs, but he ensured that the core principles like discipline, sportsman spirit, putting the team first always stayed intact within the team, regardless of on-field results. And you could tell it, the camaraderie and chemistry that the Indian team shared over the last 24 months. Of course, the credit has to go to skipper Rohit Sharma as well for sort of holding the squad together and making everyone feel at home, at ease. But back to Dravid. What have been the biggest highlights during his stint? There was the Test series win against Australia at home. Under him, the men in blue also became the #1 ranked team in Tests once again, and of course in the ODIs too. Then there was the Asia Cup win 2023, where India steamrolled host Sri Lanka in the final, and his meticulous planning with Rohit Sharma for the World Cup, where India fielded arguably the best ODI squad we've seen in a long time. But then, of course, there were some heartbreaks along the way, or the misses, so to speak. Except for the Asia Cup, there's no big trophy to show for that campaign, for during his tenure, like the World Test Championship, where India lost to Australia, the 2022 T20 World Cup, where England knocked out India in the semi-finals, and of course, the heartbreak of the finals at the 2023 ODI World Cup. In fact, Dravid's contract ended with this tournament. Some reports suggested that Rahul Dravid wasn't really keen to continue. Some even said that BCCI approached former Indian fast bowler Ashish Nehra, who's of course the current Gujarat Titans coach at the IPL, to take over as the T20 coach, an offer that the pacer apparently refused. With another tournament just 7 months away, another ICC event just 7 months away, one would have expected Dravid to continue as coach for continuity's sake, if not for anything else. And the BCCI has managed to convince him for that. But things don't end there. The BCCI has some more convincing to do, which brings us to the senior pros: Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, two big-ticket players around whom the team was built in the last decade or so. There were always speculations about their white ball future, especially in the lead up to the World Cup. And given that India has lost, the speculations are far greater now. Reports say Rohit Sharma isn't keen to continue as white ball skipper. There were some whispers floating on social media that Rohit had conveyed his decision to the BCCI after the World Cup loss. But the board asked him to take some time off before taking a final call. And you can understand where this is coming from. Captaincy takes a toll on you. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a toll on you mentally and physically. No doubt Rohit has been a stellar captain. The way he has backed young and even underperforming players. His on-field tactics too have earned him some praise. But faltering at the final stage can really be the last straw sometimes. And somewhere down the line, all of this can affect Rohit the batter as well. Because remember, him and even Virat for that matter aren't getting any younger. Rohit is 36, Virat 35. Virat Kohli, by the way, has made himself unavailable for the upcoming white ball series against South Africa. So that means we are not going to see him donning the blues for some time now. While fans would hope the two superstars can push themselves for one more tournament, realistically, and add the IPL to it, and we are staring at a cramped schedule. The point being, can their bodies take so much of workload? That brings us to the final talking point. Who will lead Team India in the T20 World Cup? Of course, if Rohit is fit and available, and of course, willing to, everyone would want the Rohit-Dravid captain-coach combo to continue for the T20 World Cup. But if not, what options do India have? We're seeing Surya Yadav captaining in the ongoing Australia series. Yes, he has been impressive in the little that we have seen of him, but captaining in a T20 World Cup is a different ballgame altogether. And then there's Hardik Pandya. The curious case of Hardik Pandya, who suddenly made so much of news when he moved from Gujarat Titans, where he was captain and led them through 2 successive seasons, and moved to Mumbai Indians, back there ruffling a few feathers. But the most likely successor of Rohit in white ball cricket is Hardik. He's been given that confidence. He was the vice captain in the World Cup before an injury forced him out. And Hardik has led the Indian team in a few T20 internationals too. And his now former IPL franchise Gujarat Titans. So he has the experience. But what about the availability? Fitness has been a sort of an issue with Hardik in the past. We've seen it. He was out of action since the match against Bangladesh in the World Cup. And now he's expected to be out of action for some more time till we get further clarity. That'll be quite a challenge because the T20 World Cup is set to take place right after the IPL. There's hardly any time then. What adds to the clutter is India's overall T20 schedule. Before the ongoing Australia T20 series began, the men in blue had 11 T20 matches to play now. We're down to 8 games. Just 8 T20 internationals to get the full squad in place, practice, ensure the plans are in motion. Given the heartbreak at Ahmedabad, everyone would pray, at least the cricket fans of the Indian team, that come the T20 World Cup next year, history doesn't repeat itself.